Hello everyone, good morning. Myself Muralidhar Reddy, I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about what is Nexus Artifactory. Let's see that. And here we have a this one go up a little bit DevOps 0 to hero. And this particular DevOps 0 to hero, we have a day 11 Nexus. And here I have mentioned that what is Nexus and README file. And here we can see that. The first one, Nexus is the open source and also paid one. Nexus is a repository manager that helps teams to store, manage, and distribute software components efficiently. And also, it is majorly used for managing dependencies and artifacts as well. Artifacts is nothing but jar or ER files will be stored in the Nexus. Example, I can tell you, earlier we discussed Maven concepts, right? During that time, we generated the jar file. So if you want to be use that jar file in the application, or if you want to be use that particular jar file, if you want to be share that particular jar file to someone, right? Usually what you have to do, there are two options. One is you can share your screen and you can show, okay, this is a jar file. Second option, right? You can store somewhere and then they can download from there. Okay, understand, right? But instead of that one, if you store the that particular jar file in the remotely, like example Nexus or JFrog, we can store it. Okay, and also Nexus we can easy to integrate with CI/CD pipeline and ensuring secure and efficient package distribution. Okay, understand, right? These are I hope understand it. What is exactly Nexus? What are the things will be stored? And coming to the key features, right? One is repository management. As I said, like Nexus serves as a universal repository for binaries, libraries, and also Docker images. Everything we can store it. jar, var, ER files, and also Docker images, Node.js related one. Everything will be pushed to Nexus. And open source and commercial options. As I said, here we have two options. One is open source and also Nexus Pro, that is a commercial one. And here you have to remember our practice purpose usually will be use that open source only. But in real time, we'll be use the Nexus Pro. The reason, right? In the open source, we may not be get all the features. That's why depends on project. They may require a commercial one. That's why we'll be using. Okay, and also multi-format support. It will support like we can store Maven, NPM related one, Docker, NuGet, everything we can store it. It will be we can store it a lot of binaries, everything. Okay, different types. And artifact storage here efficiently stores and retrieve, build artifacts, reducing redundant downloads. And also secure and compliance. Here this particular Nexus, it includes vulnerability scanning and also access control features to improve security related one as well. Okay, understand that? These are the major key features. And coming to that, Nexus default port number is 8081. If you want to be access our Nexus repository, right, you should be enable the port number 8081 in the security group so that you can able to access it. Clear, right? Fine. And coming to the current LTS version, not LTS version, current version. The current version is as of now, right? That version is 3.78.1. Here you have to remember in Nexus, we don't have any LTS versions, just they are releasing frequently. Depends on our use cases. We have to be review our the particular version README file and then catalog file, the particular changelog info, and then if it is suitable for us, we'll be upgrade or we'll be use it. Okay, understand that? Fine. Now we can come down a little bit. System requirements. If you want to be install Nexus on the EC2 instance or a specific Linux or Windows server, minimum we require 4 GB RAM and 8 GB recommended for larger repositories. And also you may ask question, Murli, can I use 2 GB? Usually, yes, you can, but sometimes, right, immediately it will be stopped. That's why minimum is 4 GB required. And also CPU also minimum 2 CPUs. If it depends on our use cases, we may require 4 CPUs as well. Okay, and disk space depends on our number of artifacts stored. Depends on that we'll be choosing. Usually we can when you are installing Nexus, right, during that time we'll be choose 100 GB minimum. Okay, fine. And coming to the different plans available, plans and pricing part. As I said, we have two majorly. One is open source. This is free to use, majorly suitable for small teams and also open source project purpose. We can use this particular Nexus repository. And also it will be support like Maven, NPM, PAPL. Okay, these are the majorly it will be support. And coming to that, Nexus Repository Pro. So it will be start with $120 per user per year. Okay, depends on based on organization size. It will be vary. Okay, and also we can reach out to Nexus team so that in case if we require more users, we can ask them to get that some discount as well. Okay, and also it will provide that advanced security features, role-based access control, and high availability also. It will be provided when you use the Nexus Repository Pro. And ideal for enterprise requiring enhanced security, scalability, enterprise support, then we'll go with this particular one. And here you can have a look at SonarQube Nexus to get exact pricing, everything. Okay, and here you have to remember, guys, again I'm repeating, I'm sure in real time 99% we won't be use the open source. The reason open source, it may not be provide that much features what we required in the project. That's why we'll go with Nexus Repository Pro. How do we get this thing? So then what we'll write, we'll be raise the ticket with the Nexus Artifact team. So then we can ask them, hey, we are planning to purchase Nexus Repository Pro license. So we need some details. Then we'll be schedule. I mean, they will be schedule a call with us, and we'll be explain them what exactly our requirement depends on that one. They will be suggest for us, hey, you can go with this one, you can go with this one. If you go with this one, you'll get this many features, and also you'll get the discount, some other things. If you go with a 1 year plan, 3 years plan, depends on that one. We'll be discuss with them, and then everything's fine. And then we'll be decide, and then we'll be send that info to that financial team. So once they approve it, we will get the particular license key, and then we'll be update the particular license key once we install that on Nexus. Okay, clear, right? These are the Nexus related introduction. Any questions? And also you can go to that Google, and here you can type it Nexus Artifact pricing, and here you can see that the Sonatype platform pricing plans. Now you can click this one, and here we can see that pricing related one. Okay, and here this is our sonotype.com is the official website. Okay, and also you can go to the downloads also in this particular help.sonotype.com/en download.html, and here you can see that our latest version is 3.78.1. If you see here, our latest version is 3.78.1, and here you can see that the specific Windows, Linux, Mac OS related one, everything you can check it. Okay, and depends on you are installing. Remember, guys, depends on you are installing that specific Nexus. You have to be check it whether the particular version it is suitable for us. Whatever we have applications, some of the organization they may have Java 8 application, Java 11 application, but if you use that latest version Nexus, it may not be work, but not 100% sure, but it may not be work. That's why you have to read that documentation before going to implement, before going to use the Nexus version. Not only Nexus, guys, any tool, SonarQube, JFrog, anything, right? First you have to be review it, and either it is suitable for our existing application or not. Then first we will be do the POC, proof of concept. If everything is working as we expected, then we will be use that specific version. Okay, and also we can get that free trial get from Nexus team also. Hey, we are going to do the POC. If everything is fine, we'll be purchase the specific pro plan. So if you ask them, right, they will be provide that free trial. Either depends on tool to tool, 7 days to 14 days, depends on that. We will get that particular license key. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about installing Nexus on Linux server. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So for that one, right, here we have a DevOps 0 to Hero techworldwithmurali GitHub repository. Here we have a day 11 Nexus. Now we are going to discussing inside the Nexus. We are going to discussing about installing Nexus on Linux server. Okay, now you can click this one. Now here I have mentioned that step-by-step process. We can go with that one. First thing, when you create any server, right, it should be root privileges. The reason you need to be download the specific packages and ungp everything. So second thing is minimum you require 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory. What you need? Minimum you require 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory. And also I'm going to use the Amazon Linux 2023. If you want, you can use Amazon Linux 2 or Amazon Linux 2023. Here you have to remember, usually most of the organizations currently using Amazon Linux 2, but they are planning to use that Amazon Linux 2023 also. The reason Amazon Linux 2022, next few months support will be ending. That's why. Okay. Fine. Now you can come down. First, what we need to do, right? We need to create the Amazon Linux 2023 server. For that one, I'm going to here. I'm in the EC2. I'm in North Virginia. Launch instance. I'm going to launch the one EC2 instance. Okay. Now here I'm giving the Nexus server. Okay. Now you can come down a little bit. And here I have selected that Amazon Linux 2023, or you can select the Amazon Linux 2. Anything is fine. Okay. Now you can come here, and here most important, instance type. As I said, we required at least 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory. Correct? For that one, right, I'm selecting here T2.medium. Here you have to remember, if you select the T2.micro, right, when you're running your Nexus, it won't be run it. That is one problem. Second thing is, in real time also, we won't be use the T2.micro. We always use at least a T2.medium, or we can use the most like a T2.large, depends on our Nexus requirement. Okay, understand, right? Fine. Now here I'm selecting that our infra, and then here I'm selecting that infra VPC. As I said, all the DevOps related tools will be installed in the infra VPC only. That's why I have selected the infra VPC. Okay. Now here you can come down, and here for practice purpose, I'm creating the public subnet, but in real time, we always create in the app subnet only. Okay. Now you can select this one, and here I'm going to create the security group. For that one, here I'm giving that Nexus-SG. Okay. And then here you can give a description, this one. And then here most important, this is our Linux server, right? That's why we need to enable the port SSH port number 22. And here, if you see here we mentioned that anywhere 0.0. But in real time, we won't be give the 0.0. We always give the internal CADR range. Okay. But our practice purpose, you can give 0.0. But in real time, we won't be giving. And also, as I said, right, Nexus is always in the internal subnets only. It means private subnet. It is either private app subnet. Usually we'll be creating the app subnet only. Okay. But practice purpose, you can create in public also. That is fine. Okay. And here, if you see here we have a storage. Here at least required 100 GB. I have selected the 100 GB and GP3. Okay. Clear, right? Any questions now? Now we can click launch instance, click this one. Now what will happen, right? It will create the EC2 instance, and also it is creating the security group, and it is also adding the security group rule as well. That is port number 22. Okay. Now you can click this one. Usually when you create the Linux server, usually it will take 30 seconds to 1 minute to come up fully, the server. Okay. Now here you can see, right? Here we can see the public IP. Now you can copy this public IP. Now I'm going to connect this one. For that one, you can give it CMD. I have opened the CMD here. Now you can expand this. And here SSH-I infra.pen EC2-user at the rate. Now you can give it public IP. Okay. Now I'm connecting. Yes. Okay. Now I have connected the server. Super. Okay. Now what you have to do? Now we need to install the Java. If you go here, we have created the server, that is fine, well and good. Now we need to install the Java. Okay. For that one, right? We are using that specific version, that is 3.70.2. So the particular Nexus version, right? We required at least Java 11. That's why we are going to install it, Java 11. And also we can see it here, Nexus related version. What is the latest version? If you see here, our latest version is 3.78.0.14. But in our case, we are going to install the 3.70.2. Okay, clear, right? And also one more thing, remember, in real time, we won't be install the latest version. We always install the little bit older version. Example, I can tell you, if you install the latest version, right, it is expecting at least Java 17. But in our case, sometimes, right, if you if your the particular server if you install that Java 11, but if you are trying to install this latest version, that it may not be run. That's why always highly recommend, right? We always use the latest little bit older version instead of using the latest version. Okay, but when you are upgrade from one version to another version, yes, during that time we'll be review our existing readme file, the specific version, and then we'll be install the necessary tools. Like example, from Java 11 to Java 17 we have to be installed, and then we'll be download this particular one, we'll be uninstall everything, whatever we are going to do, right? Everything will be do that. Okay, fine. Now we can go here. First I'm installing that Java 11. For that one, I'm using m install java-11, this particular one. Remember this command, it will work for Amazon Linux 2023. Now you can copy here. Now you can run here. Okay, enter. Now if you see here, Java 11 is going to install it. And one more thing, remember, in case this particular command, right, currently this is a command to install it. In future, it may change that command. So please refer that AWS official documentation so that you will get some idea what command we need to be use it for installation. Okay. And also you can go here if you want Google Java 11. Okay. Java 11 Amazon 2023. Okay. Now here you can get it. If you see here you can get it the documentation part. Now you can go here and you can search with the specific one. Okay, understand it? Fine. Now this part is clear. Now it is installing. Yeah, installation completed. Now I'm going to check it whether it is installed or not. Java version. Now if you see here, Java 11 is installed. Okay, awesome. That is a OpenJDK. It is installed. Now what you have to do? The next step, right? We need to be download the specific tar file. If you see here, I'm using duplicate command to download it. What is the version? 3.70.2. Okay. In case if how can we get this particular one? For that one, if you go here and here you can see that tar file, right click and copy link address. Similar to whatever version we are downloading, right? In right side we have the specific version related information. You can come here and then if you see here, you can come here and then you can select here. It is supporting Java 8 and Java 11. Whatever it is preferable, you can go ahead and copy, right click, copy link address, and then you can download it. Okay, same thing I have updated here. Just copy this one. Now you can go here. Remember, usually all the tools, not only Nexus, Sonar, Cube, JFrog, everything, right, will be downloaded in the OPT directory only. That is a recommended way. Now you can do here. Okay, now it is downloading. If you see here, specific version, it is downloading. Wait for a few seconds. If you see here, total size is 244 MB. It is downloading. Okay, super. Now if you see here, LL command, now it is downloaded. Awesome. Now we need to untar it. Okay, now for that one, you can use it tar-xvf and then Nexus. I hope you already saw that these commands in the Linux, right? Initially. Okay, please have a look if you are not aware. tar-xvf. X is nothing but extract, V is nothing but verbose, F is nothing but file. Okay, now you can enter. If you see here, it is going on. Okay, now you can give the LL command. Now here we can see that 2 files extracted, 2 folders. One is Nexus one and sonotype-work. Okay, clear. Now what I'm going to do is stop giving this lengthy name. We are going to rename this name. How do we do? For that one, we need to use the mv command, Nexus, and then you can give the Nexus. If you see here, Nexus specific version to Nexus. Okay, now you can give it LL command, and here we can see the specific Nexus one. Okay, it is renamed. Clear, right? Now what you have to do? Now I'm going to explain that what are the things is available inside, and then we'll be create the user, and then we can change from root user to another user. Everything we can do that. Okay. Now you can go here, go to the Nexus, LL command, and here we can see that whether it is OSS or Pro licensed one. Currently, we are using OSS, open source one. But in reality, in real time, we always use the Pro only. If you remember in Nexus overview, I have explained that what are the types available, which one will be use it in the real time. Okay, but our practice purpose, we are using OSS. In real time, we won't be used. The reason, if you use the OSS, right, you may not be get more features related to Nexus. So it may not be suitable for our project. That's why we always go with Pro only. Okay, and then next one, bin directory. Now I can go here, bin directory. Okay, now I can give it a LL command. And here, this particular Nexus file, right? This particular Nexus file only, it will be decide whether I want to be start, I want to be stop, restart everything. Example, inside this Nexus, right? Inside this Nexus file, okay, it is contain that shell script. This particular shell script, it will be decide whether I want to be start or stop or restart everything. If you come down little bit, I can show you. Okay, come down. Yeah, it is going on. Give me a few seconds. Okay, it is going on still. Yeah, if you see here, whether you want to be stopped, whether you want to be stopped, run redirect, status, restart, force reload. Whatever you want, you can do that. Okay, this particular shell command only, it will be decided whether I want to be start or stop everything. And here, next one, nexus.rc. Inside the nexus.rc, usually inside this particular nexus.rc, by default, Nexus is running in the root user. But reality, in real time, it is not recommended to run it in the root user. If you want to be run it in the different user, what you have to do? You have to come here inside this particular nexus.rc. You have to uncomment this one, and then you have to mention that which user you need to be run this particular Nexus. Later part, I will show you. Yeah, we'll be create that Nexus user and we'll be running that particular one. Okay, fine. Next one, nexus.vm options. You can go here. Nexus.vm options. Okay. Now, if you see here inside this nexus.vm options, minimum and maximum memory. If you see here, minimum on 2 GB, maximum also 2 GB. Okay. And also here you can see that what is the log path. Here, if you want to be change it different log path, you can do that. Currently, it is in the that particular sonotype for Nexus 3 log folder. Okay, temporary directory as well. Everything you can see it here. In case if you want to be change it, you can come here and you can change it. JVM related, everything. Okay, clear, right? But our practice purpose, usually min memory and maximum memory will be changed from 2 GB to 1 GB only. Okay, just for that one. 1 GB is equal to how much? 1024, right? Okay, just I'm giving here 1024. But in real time, we may increase also. But here, for our practice purpose, I don't want to be using this particular one 2 GB. 1 GB is enough. Okay, now I can give it save. Fine, super. This part is clear, right? Any questions? No. Now I can come back. Now you can give the LL command and here the apply you can ignore it, etc. You can ignore it and lib directory. Remember, not only this Nexus, any tool lib directory it is contains the jar files related to specific Nexus. Okay, if you see here, these are the jar files available. Okay, fine. Now you can come back. You can give the LL command and then remaining you can ignore it, not record much, and then you can come back a little bit. And here I'm going to sonotype -var. This is also when we extracted this particular tar file, right? It is came, right? Sonotype -var. I'm going this one as well. Now you can give it, sorry, sonotype. And here you can see that Nexus 3 folder is Nexus 3 because our version is Nexus 3 version, right? That's why. Now you can give the LL command. And here you can see the log directory. Currently, if you go and check it in the log directory, right, you can't see it anything. The reason we haven't started, right? That's why initially you can't see it. Okay. And also what I'm going to do, I'm going to open another duplicate one, documents, downloads, and SSH-i. I'm connecting again same server, duplicate. I wanted to show you one command prompt. Okay, I wanted to show you that how do we run it. Another command prompt, I want to show you how do we check the logs, everything. Okay, now I can give it enter. Okay, it is connected. Okay, super. Now this is done. if you see here, this part is clear. Now, any questions here? Fine. Now you can go to the documentation so that you'll get some idea. Now you can go to the OPT directory, LL command. Now here you can go to the documentation. And if you see here, this part is we have done and we have renamed it. And the next step, right? I'm going to create the Nexus user. I'm going to create the Nexus user. As I said, right? It is not recommended to run it in the root user. That's why we are going to create the Nexus user. Okay. Now for that one, either you can use add user or user add command to create the user. Okay. Now you can copy this one. Now you can go here. Yeah, add user. That is fine. And then I'm checking whether it is created or not. For that one, I'm using ID space username. If you enter here, right, user is created. Okay, super. Now I'm going to set the password, the particular one, passwd. Okay, and then you can give the Nexus. Username is Nexus. And here I'm giving the password Nexus. Okay, super. The password also updated successfully. Okay, awesome. Now what is the next step? Now you can come down and here I'm going to change from root user to and specific Nexus user and Nexus group. If you see here, if you give the LL command, currently this particular Nexus and sonotype-var, it is running in the root user. As I said, it is not recommended to run it in the root user. That's why we are changing. Okay. Now for that one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the chone command -r. Okay. And then you can give it Nexus :Nexus. Okay. Remember, colon after this is the group, colon before this is the user. Okay. Here same. This is the user, this is the group, right? So it will be changing from root user to Nexus user, root group to Nexus group. Okay. Now you can give it Nexus folder. Okay. Now you can enter here. You may ask question why we have given -r. If you give the -r, right? If you have any subdirectory subfiles inside the Nexus, it will also apply this particular Nexus user and a Nexus group. Okay. Now you can, if you see here LL command, and here we can see that Nexus user group. Okay. Fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a ch -r Nexus :Nexus. Okay. Sonotype-var. Now you can give enter. Now you can give the LL command, and here we can see that it is changed from specific this one root user to Nexus user. Okay, clear, super. Now what is the next one? What is the next step? Now you can go here. This part is clear. Now what you have to do, as I said earlier, inside the nexus.rc, you have to be uncomment, and then you have to give it that, hey, use this particular Nexus user. Use this particular Nexus user instead of running in the root user. For that one, now I'm going here, go to that Nexus bin directory. Now you can give the LL command, and here we can see that nexus.rc, VAM, nexus.rc. Okay, now you can give it insert mode. Okay, now you can go here. When you see that hash, right, it is commented, okay, in the shell script. Okay, now you can give here, not only shell script, anywhere. Now you can give it here Nexus. Okay, now it is running in the Nexus user. Okay, super. Now in case if you want to be change anything, you can come here nexus.vm options. You can change it. We already did for memory minimum and maximum. We already modified. In case if you want to be changing the log related location, everything, you can do that. Okay, clear, super. What is the next one? Now, as I said, if you want to be do any changes, you can do it in this particular nexus.vm options. Okay, super. What is the next one? I'm going to run this particular Nexus. For that one, as I said, this particular Nexus is the shell script. Okay, we can use this particular shell script to run the Nexus, stop, start, restart, or whatever. Okay, we can do that one. Here you have to remember, if you want to be run shell script, right, we have two options. One is you can use sh, and then you can give the Nexus. Okay, and then example you can enter. Now it will give that subcommands. This is the one of the option, sh space or the specific file Nexus, and then here it is giving that commands. What are the commands we need to be using? It is giving. Second option, right? You can give /Nexus, and then you can give it example enter. Now it will give that same option. Okay, either you can use sh space Nexus, or you can give dot means current directory. you have a Nexus that is a file shell script. Okay, now it is expecting to pass this information. Here, if you want to be start, if you want to be stop, and if you want to be run it, it will be displaying the same line only, whether how is going on, and also run redirect. If you want to be redirect, status, restart, force reload. Okay, everything here we have. Now what I'm going to do, first I'm going to check it status of that particular Nexus. For that one, you can give it an sh Nexus. Okay, now you can give it status. Now you can enter. If you see here, currently it is showing that Nexus is stopped one. Nexus is stopped one. Okay, clear, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this particular one, sh Nexus. Okay, I'm giving that start. Now you can enter. Now if you see here, it is starting. Nexus is starting. Okay, super, awesome. Now I'm going to check it, sh Nexus and status. Now if you see here, when I started, it was showing the starting. Now it is, when I check the status again, it is showing that Nexus is stopped. Okay, now what you have to do, we need to check the logs. For that one, you can go here, sudo su -. Okay, now you can go to the opt directory, and then here we have a sonotype -, this one, right? Yeah, here only it will be stored, right? Now you can give it ll command, go to the Nexus, and here you can give the ll command and go to the logs. Now if you see here, when I started Nexus, suddenly it went to Nexus is stopped one, but it is not written any logs. If you see here, inside this log directory, I don't see any logs, correct? Fine, super. Now, but how do we troubleshoot this one? Remember, if it is not writing any logs, it means it is not at all going to the Nexus state. Now, how do we check it? For that one, here you can give it sh Nexus. Okay, now you can give the run command. It is already expecting that if we enter here, it is also having that run command. If you see here run, we can pass the run command as well. Now what you can do, sh Nexus, okay, and then you can give the run. Okay, now you can enter. If you see here, when you enter, right, here it is throwing the error related to could not create a Java virtual machine. Okay, if you see here, -d Java, this specific one. Now what you have to do, it is not supported. What you have to do, here we have a nexus.vm options, right? Open this one. Nexus.vm option. Okay, now you can come down. If you come down, here we can see that this one. If you see here, -d Java dot endorse dot dir lib this one. Now what you can do, now you can comment this one. This one is not required. Okay, comment this one. Comment means insert what? If you give the hash, it is commented. Okay, now you can go here. Okay, now you can run it again. sh Nexus run command. Okay, now you can enter. Now you won't be see it any errors now. If you see here, now here it is going on very well. Okay, fine. Now we are seeing that a different error. We can see it. Wait for a few seconds so that whether it is running or not, we can get some idea. Okay, it is going on. Yeah, it is installing under this specific Nexus version. Everything is fine. But when you run this run command, right? If you cancel, it will be canceled. That's why it is not recommended. Okay. Wait for a few seconds. Yeah, if you see here, started Nexus successfully the specific version. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is now you can go here and then you can give it ll command. It is generated the logs as well. JVM related, nexus.logs, cluster related, outbound request, everything. This everything, whatever it is generated, right? It is available inside the VM.options. There we mentioned that logs needs to be stored in this particular inside the opt sonotype this one. Sonotype var. Inside that we have an Nexus3 log directory. Okay, it is stored. Now, if you want, you can check it that logs as well. I can give it Nexus cat command, nexus.log, and then you can enter. If you see here, this part is running fine. Okay, clear, super. Now what you have to do? Now it is started. Now if you go here, if you go and cancel this one, it won't be running. It is again stop. That's why it is not recommended to run using run command. But if you're not generated any logs, if you want to be troubleshoot on demand, it will be display when you use that run command, sh nexus run, it will give that logs there. You can directly check it. Okay, fine. Now what I'm going to do, now here sh, first I'm stopping this. Okay, nexus. Okay, it is stopped. It is already stopped. That's why just it stopped. Okay, sh nexus, and then I'm giving that start command. Okay, start command. Okay, now it is started. Now you can go here. I'm checking the status as well. Now if you see here, it is started. Awesome. Nexus is running. Very good. Okay. Now you can also check it. ps-ef grep nexus. Whether the specific process is running or not, we can check it. Here we can see, right? Nexus is running as we expected. Okay, awesome. Now what you have to do? Now the nexus is running. Now we need to access, right? For that one, what you have to do, you can go here. Now you can copy this one, copy the public IP, and then you can go here. And here I'm giving the colon. What is the port number? Port number is 8081, right? Now you can give the 8081. If you see here, I'm trying to access our nexus. In console, sorry, in CLI, it is showing that running fine, but I'm not able to access it. The reason, you need to be provide the, what you have to do, you need to allow the port number, inbound port number 8081, and then you can able to access it. For that one, you can go here, go to the security group, and go to the our Nexus security group. If you see here, Nexus-SZ is nothing but security group. Currently, we have enabled only port number 22. But what you have to do, we need to enable the port number 8081 as well. Now you can click add role, and here you can select that custom TCP, and then here you can give it that 8081, and then here I'm giving that anywhere. Remember, in real time, usually will be give example your enter VPC network 10 series, just will be give this one. But our practice purpose, you can give it 0.0. And one more thing, remember, if you say like we have mentioned that 0.0, they can easy to know, okay, this person is not worked in the real time. Be careful. Practice purpose, fine. Okay. Now you can give it save rules. Okay, super. Now what you have to do? This part is clear. Very good. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to access now. If you see here, it is I'm able to access using node IP colon. Sorry, the specific server IP colon port number, whether it is public or private. Okay. If it is a private, right, what you have to do, you need to connect either client VPN or Cisco one. Okay. Now what you can do, now you can go here. Now you can click that sign, and here it is asking the username is admin. Password is available in the OPT directory, sonotype-var nexus 3. There it is generated the admin.password. Once you set the password, this particular file will be deleted automatically. Now you can go ahead and check it. Go here. I'm here only. Go here. Yeah, if you see here we can see that admin.password. Okay, now you can cat command admin.password. Now you can enter. And if you see here we can see that specific one. Copy this temporary password. Now you can paste here. Remember, username is admin. Password is this one. Okay, now you can click the sign in. Now you can click next. Next. And here is asking the password. I'm giving here admin@250. Okay, then you can give it admin@250. Okay, now you can click the next, and here is asking whether you want to be give the anonymous access. Now you can disable this one, click next, finish. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to log out this, and I'm trying to log in with our new password, whether it is able to access or not, able to log in or not, we can verify. Okay, now here it is asking that username is admin, password is A capital admin@250. Okay, now you can click the sign in. Now if you see here, I'm able to access our Nexus one. I'm able to log in and I'm able to view that everything. Okay, I will show you later part this Nexus everything in the dashboard level. Okay, now if you see here, now we have accessed and we have restarted everything's fine. But when you go and run every time when you go and run this particular in the bin directory. Okay, the problem here, right? In case if you stop the Nexus, if you stop the Nexus server and you have started, then what you have to do? Every time you need to come here, and then you need to be start again. Instead of that one, what we can do? We can set up this Nexus in the service level. Then what you can do? Once you run this particular Nexus service level, so even if you reboot the server, we don't require to log into that the specific server to start or stop the specific one service. It is automatically start. How do we do? For that one, before going to do, when you are setting up this particular Nexus in the service level, always recommend you have to be stop in the bin directory. We already started inside the bin directory that Nexus, right? First, we need to stop it. Otherwise, when you set up the service level, it won't be work because of it is already run it in the bin directory. That's why. Okay. Now you can go here, sh Nexus. Okay. Now I'm giving the stop command. First, I'm stopping this Nexus. Okay. Now if you see here, it is stop. I'm checking whether it is stopped or not. sh Nexus status. Now if you see here, it is stopped. Okay, well and good, super. Now what is the next one? This part is clear, right? Any questions? Fine. Now what you have to do is now you can go to the documentation, and here we are going to create that Nexus as a service level. For that one, inside the etc directory, we have a system day. Inside the system day, we have a system directory. There we need to create that Nexus.service. You can give any name. Usually relative name we will be given. Example for Nexus, right? We are giving. And one more thing, it is not only for Nexus, JFrog, SonarQube, wherever, right? We will be creating inside the etc system only. There you need to give it the specific name. Okay. Now you can copy this one. Now you can go here. Now you can go here. Okay, sorry. Copy this one. Now you can go here, enter. Now insert mode. And if you see here we can see that the specific service related configuration. One is unit and a description, right? This is related to Nexus. That's why we give that Nexus service. In case if it is a Tomcat, we will give Tomcat service. Okay. And after network.target only, you can give it same. And type, right? Service type is forking. Limit number of files, maximum is 65,536. You can keep it that one. And this is the most important. Our whatever tool, right? Which user it is running. But in our case, it is Nexus is running in the Nexus user, and group also it is running in the Nexus group only. That's why we mention here. But in real time, right? If we have a JFrog, it may be running the JFrog user or artifact user. If it is a SonarQube, it may be running the Sonar. Then what you have to do? You need to be change this particular tool. Okay, in case if it is running the root user, you don't require to mention. If you are not mentioning this user and group, by default, it will run it in the root user only. Okay, now here most important, exe start is nothing but execute start. Okay, if you want to be start using systemctl the service level, what you have to do, which path I wanted to refer. For that one, if you see here, whatever opt Nexus bin directory, we have a Nexus, correct? What we are doing inside that particular bin directory, we are running the Nexus one. Same thing we are giving here, /opt Nexus bin Nexus and space, and I'm giving the start because we are starting, right? That's why we are giving here start. Similar exec stop. It means it is stopping that particular. If you want to be start using service level, and we need to be mention the stop related one path as well. That's why here we mention the stop. Similar for other as well. You need to mention if it is a JFrog, you need to mention JFrog related bin directory path. If it is a SonarQube, you need to mention. If it is a Tomcat, you have to be mention the Tomcat related path. Okay. Restart onboard relay and then install wanted this multi-user target. Now you can copy this one. You don't require to do anything changes. Just copy this one and you can do that. Okay. Now I'm going to update here. Now you can enter here. Now it is updated. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to save this one. Okay. We already have read :WQ. It will be save it. Now you can give it, go to that etc. Okay. System day and go to the system and then you can give the LL command. And if you see here, Nexus.service, currently it is running the root user. But as I said earlier, we have changed from root user to Nexus user. Then what you have to do? You have to be change this particular one as well, right? Now for that one, you can go here, give the ll command. Sorry, go here, ch1, okay, and then here I'm giving that username is Nexus, group name is also Nexus, and then I'm giving that Nexus.service. Now you can enter here. Now you can give the ll command, and here we can see that Nexus one. Okay, now it is changed from root user to Nexus user. Okay, now if you see here, here we have only read write permissions. We don't have the execute permissions. If you, when you are running this particular one, right, it required execute permissions, but currently we don't have. Now what you have to do, you need to use chmod command to give the execute permissions. For that one, chmod, I'm giving that 777 nexus.service. Remember, here, if you want, you can give that 777, that is fine, but depends on use cases, whether you want to be give it full permissions or whether you want to give only specific user or group permissions only, we need to be decided. Okay, clear. Now it is fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this particular one. How do we do? Now I can come here. First, what you have to do, you have to remember one thing, guys. When you are setting up service level, first you have to use the systemctl enable command. What is the advantage of running this enable command? The reason, if you run this enable command, okay, it will create the symbolic link, and then in case if someone is came and restarted, rebooted this particular server, okay, you don't require to come again, log into the server and start or restart your Nexus. It is automatically up once your reboot is complete. Okay, that's why always recommended to run it in the service enable command. Okay, now you can go here, systemctl status. First I'm checking the status Nexus. Now if you see here, when you type it Nexus under tab, it is automatically filled Nexus.service. Now you can enter. Now if you see here, here it is showing that inactive because just now we have set up, but we haven't started. That's why. First, as I said, first you need to be enable this systemctl enable, and then I'm giving that Nexus. Remember, you can give Nexus.service or just give the Nexus also, that is fine. Now you can enter. When you run this particular enable command, if you see here, it is created the symbolic link for this particular etc system Nexus.service. Okay, clear. Any questions here? Fine, super. Now we have done that. Now I'm going to start this particular one. Systemctl start Nexus.service. Now you can enter. Now what will happen? It will be start. Now you can go ahead and check it the status as well. Now again, status. Now if you see here, Nexus is running. Okay, if you see here, active, it is running. Okay, now it is reading that particular process execute start because we have started, right? That's why it is it took from that particular opt Nexus bin directory Nexus start. Okay, fine, super. Now you can cancel this one. So if I even cancel, right, it won't be canceled. The reason it is running in the as a service, right? Now what you can do, now you can go here. Now you can go here, go to refresh this page. Earlier it was disconnected because we have stopped, right? Now we have started using Artifactory. So the systemctl command. Now I can able to access it. If you go here, and then here I can give it admin @250. Okay, now you can click the sign in. Now if you see here, I'm able to log in. Okay, and I am able to run using service level. If you run it in the service level, there are advantages. What are the advantages? If you see here, if you're not set up in the service level, what you have to do, every time you have to go to that particular bin directory, you have to run sh space Nexus, whether start, stop, restart, every time you have to go to that particular location and you have to start or stop. But when you set up the service level, you don't require to go to the bin directory. You can run that particular systemctl command from anywhere so that it will be run it. Okay, understand that? That is a major advantage. And one more advantage, when you set up the service level, you have to be enable that you have to enable the service so that even someone is restarted, rebooted the particular server, Linux server, what will happen? It is automatically, once the reboot is completed, it is automatically up the service. You don't require to go to log into the server and start the particular service. Okay, understand that? That is the major advantage. Any questions now? Any questions now? And here you have to remember one thing, guys. Usually, for practicing purpose, we are accessing using public IP colon port number or private IP colon port number. But in reality, in real time, we won't be use the public or private IP colon port number. And also, we won't be, it should not be like insecure, not secure. It should be secure only. That's why what we will do, right? We'll be accessing using DNS name. Example, nexus.techworldwithmurali.in. Okay, will be mentioned like that. So what I will do later, I will show you how do we accessing using DNS name instead of public or private IP. And one more thing you have to remember, in interview level, if you say like we have created a nexus in the public subnets, or if you say like we have access using public IP colon port number or private IP colon port number, they can easy to identify, okay, this person is not worked in the real time. The reason, in real time, we always accessing like this. Example, HTTPS. Okay, nexus dot techworld. Example, you are working the techworld with Murali company. It will be like this domain, techworldwithmurali.in. We'll be accessing like this. Okay. Later, I will show you how do we configure and accessing using DNS name instead of IP address. Okay, don't worry. But you should be remember this point. Okay, fine. Now, if you see here, you have successfully installed the Nexus on Linux server. Just we recap what we did. We have created the Amazon Linux 2023 server. We have installed the Java version, and we have installed that downloaded that tar file Nexus, and we have untar it. We have renamed it, and then we have created the users, and then we have updated the specific users as well. Okay. I mean, change that ownership from root user to the specific one. And then we have started, but we haven't seen any logs. Then what we did, inside the bin directory, we use that run command. It was showing that one of the error. And inside that VM.options, we have commented the specific line. And then we have started. It is working fine. We have access using node IP, the specific server IP colon port number. But again, instead of going every time going to run it in the bin directory, what we did, right? It is recommended to set up the service level. For that one, we have created that Nexus service inside that etc system folder directory, and then we have updated the script, and then we have started. And before going to start, right, we have enabled the result. If you enable, right, even someone is restarted that rebooted the server, start the server, you don't require to log into the server and start the service again. It is automatically pick up. It will up and running. Okay, clear, right? And this is the process of installing. Okay, any questions now?